Note to viewer, I'm not very good at making graphics, so enjoy this Apple Lotus screensaver. Hi YouTube, Word Tutorials and Junk here. I'd just like to give a little briefing about the iPad and stuff. There's been a lot of talk about it lately, and I just want to kind of give my bit about it. So the iPad, it's Apple's newest device, you know. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's like the first tablet style, their version of a netbook. It's pretty, well, they say it's revolutionary and magic and cheap and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cheap. I mean, everyone thought it was going to be like $1,000, and they give it for 500, and people still complain about how much it sucks and the flaws and how it lacks Flash. Yeah, about Flash. Apple and Adobe have been going at it with Flash. But I don't know why they're making such a big deal out of it. I mean, I've had an iPod Touch and my G1 without Flash, and you know, I never really need it. I mean, and if I do, it doesn't work well. I mean, I wouldn't need it that bad. And Steve Jobs was complaining to Adobe about how Flash makes the Macs like crash and whatnot, and it does. I mean, I'll give it up for Steve for that, but because that's true. But I don't really need Flash, so I'm probably gonna buy an iPad. I mean, I didn't pre-order it because first I want to see what people are gonna say about it, what it's gonna be, how it's gonna function in the long run. If I buy it, I'm gonna buy it in June, maybe July, and I want the 3G version. I don't want the little Wi-Fi one. And so yeah, the gaming is like, well, it looks pretty good. It looks like pretty solid 3D gaming. You can run virtually all iPhone applications, which it can already work with 150 apps when it ships. Well, the keyboard, it looks just a huge version of like the iPhone OS keyboard, which is pretty cool. It looked awesome when Steve was working on it during the introduction of this. Well, the price isn't really that you could say amazing for it, because it could have been cheaper, but it could have been way more expensive. So, but there are new tablets coming out that are way cheaper, like the Arco 7, which I saw recently for about like $200. I don't know. It's not really gonna be like a desktop replacement or a laptop replacement. So that's one of the reasons I'm not really like. I wanted it first. I wanted it real bad, but yeah, I don't want it as bad as I used to. The money I was saving up for it, I actually went out and got a new iMac, the late 2009 model, the 27-inch 3.06 gigahertz one, and yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, I got that instead of the iPad. I mean, I couldn't wait for the iPad. You know, my money was just sitting in my pocket, so I had to, you know. Yeah, a notebook versus an iPad. A lot of people would buy a netbook just because they know how to use it and, you know, stuff like that. But if you think about it, an iPad is just like a netbook, I mean, because a lot of people know how to use it because of the iPod Touch, and it'll just be a bigger version of it. It's faster and, I guess, more productive than a mobile device. Yeah. I guess you can wait for the real reviews with, you know, like video and stuff to judge whether you want one or not. But HTML5 is what Apple wants to use instead of Flash, which it's not just gonna like pop out of nowhere and and be like, oh, HTML5 is a new thing. HTML5 is, I guess you could say, it integrates stuff like videos and games. I think, I'm really not sure. I'd have to Google it. But Flash has actually gotten real good. I mean, except for the Mac once, it's actually made my Mac freeze a few times. But, and then Apple delayed the date, which is supposed to be the 27th of this month, and it turns out it's going to be April 3rd, so that's weird. They said 90 days, clearly, 90 days would be the 27th. It wasn't. But, then, a few days ago, or, I don't know, like the 3rd, I read it like yesterday, Apple came out with a battery replacement plan, which is going to cost $99. That's a lot for a freaking battery. I mean, batteries usually run you about $50. You can replace them your own. You can replace them yourself. So that's a lot. $100 plus like $10 for shipping and tax. So $499 for the 16 gig, $829 for the 64 gig. Hopefully the iPod Touches will get cheaper. I'm sure they'll drop a few dollars. But, you know, I hope the iPad turns out to be good. I like the iBooks. I mean, I don't read books anymore. I used to read books. But, you know, some people like the books. What's that called? The iBooks application? Yeah. Actually looks gorgeous. I mean, I was gonna get one just because of how it looked. That's the reason I was saving up for it. I mean, I had like $900 that I was gonna spend on the 64 gig one, but I was like, nah, how about I just wait a little while? But turns out I just went out and got my Mac. So yeah, that's about it. You know, subscribe to my videos. A lot of new stuff coming. I just started it, and I'm probably gonna have 3 videos by the end of today. So subscribe. My voice is dying, so thanks for watching and subscribe.